Mr. Graham, it's time to talk more about the English Football League.
I can't wait. I'm very excited because there's a certain bulldog that needs to be called out.
Oh, okay. I enjoy that. And little teaser. A couple of teams are still undefeated.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Well, they only have about 3,462 games to go, so.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time before they lose. But if they didn't.
That'd be a little less significant than Arsenal.
Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of a lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to DU Does the EFL, a completely biased brief recap of the English Football League as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Houston. Across the way from me, Mr. Samuel Graham. How you doing, Sammy?
Not too bad, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing lovely. Producer Mel's still away on assignment, and she'll be joining us very soon next week. As always, we're recording at the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts. And, of course, other than this Monday, because we recorded on Sunday, because we're not, kind of schedules are all screwed up. You can normally watch us live on all the live streaming networks. There's, if you want to talk to us, there's many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Absolutely. It's at DU Football Show on all the social medias and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email.
Excellent. And we're drinking the same shit we were drinking in the last show. So let's go ahead and get right into it.
Championship Corner!
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
Oh, no.
See, Mel, I managed to get the fucking fader back up in time and stop the sounds and everything. Just
Damn.
want to say.
Shots fired.
Fired. Right over the bow. Sorry, honey. Please come back and do the show.
Like Wayne Rooney should be.
All right. So, just like that, the Foxes have lost 2 on the bump, losing to Middlesbrough 1-0 off of a goal by Leeds loanee Sam Greenwood. Hit a stunner in the upper 90s on a free kick, moving Borough finally back into the top 10.
Yes, finally into the top 10 after, we've said it many times already, such high expectations preseason, and they got off to an absolute fucking stinker. And it seems they are now flying up the table as we speak.
Ipswich are now level on points, and they're only second in goal differential. So they did get another victory as well. And, of course, for Leeds and Southampton, both of them have gained ground as well.
There's still 8 points off, though, which is still a fairly significant margin so early. But, again,
it's something.
There's so much football to play.
Right. There's something. They've started to at least gain some ground because it really looked like they're at a point with both of those two teams. It was like, fuck, are they pulling a Burnley and already fucking just running away with it? Is it like already over?
I mean, I think they've got, like everybody else, have a few injuries, and I think they just stumbled a little bit. But I would back them to rectify the situation and continue to fly. Personally,
Leeds beat Plymouth 2-1. Apparently, Plymouth has yet to win on the road in the championship.
Yep.
And then Southampton beat West Brom, and they beat them while serenading a sleeping West Brom supporter. You saw that video?
Was fucking funny. That was. What did it say? He's dead asleep. He's dead asleep.
No, he's still asleep. He's still asleep.
Oh, that's what.
We are still singing, and
he's still asleep. That's what it was.
And then he wakes up, and he's like, he finally woke up.
He finally woke up.
Bloody fucking brilliant.
Great. Yeah, it was just an older guy, just kind of dozed off, and then even his mate next to him, I guess, was just turned to. You could see his face on the video. He's just laughing at them, singing at him, at his friend. Yeah, it's very funny.
Well, West Brom football will do that to you. Boing boing.
Yeah, boing boing. Get up off your seat, motherfucker. What are you doing?
Oh, I mean, all fairness, both of us have admitted when we did our trip over. Now, ours was a fucking process of jet lag, and we were balls ass tired. But when we were at the West Ham Arsenal match, both of us were having a hard time there in the first half, keeping our fucking eyes open.
I dozed off towards the end of the first half. I almost missed Ozil's goal.
Yep, it was like
terrible.
We were tired.
That was horrible. That.
Yet somehow we found the legs to continue drinking back at the pub afterwards.
Well, as soon as we got out of the stadium, we hit our second win.
Well, Arsenal football put you to sleep.
Well, that particular day, yeah, and West Ham were nothing to. I mean, they were in a relegation battle at that point. It was terrible.
Yeah, very good. And there's no changes to the bottom where we have Rotherham lost 5-0 to Watford, QPR drew 0-0, and Sheffield Wednesday gave up 4 to Millwall as well.
I mean, that's pathetic. But what the big story of the championship is what's going on in Birmingham City.
Okay, go for it.
And this is where I say the Bulldog needs to be called out. Because old Wazza, since he's come in, he hasn't gotten a single win. He's had 1 draw, 4 losses.
Oh, no.
Birmingham City went from 5th in the table or 6th in the table, whatever it was, to now 15th.
Oh, shit.
And they are dropping like a stone. And there's been a lot talked about. I believe the former coach was also a black coach. Mm-hmm. And to be fired for the name of Wayne Rooney while you were doing well, not really a great look, especially since they haven't exactly improved either. They've actually got much, much worse.
And also owned by one Mr. Tom Brady now. He's part of that.
Partially. I believe he's owns less than 1% of the club, but is paraded around as saying he owns part of it.
Yeah,
what I do enjoy very much,
works.
for anybody that is a part of the Peaky Blinders lore, the company that owns Birmingham City, I know we've said it before, but it's still interesting to note that it is called the Shelby Company.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I think they named their company as a result of that show when it started 6-7 years ago, whatever it was.
No shit.
Yeah, and actually built up enough money and bought Birmingham City, but they are the Shelby Company,
Too fucking fun.
which is pretty good.
All right, so moving on to League One, as we had hinted at the start, Pompey remain unbeaten. They drew Charlton Athletic 2-2 and remain 1 point in front of Oxford.
And everybody that doesn't listen to this, or I'm sorry, everyone that does listen to the show thought that we were probably talking about Leicester.
Yep.
We weren't. We're talking about our boys, Portsmouth.
Yep.
Come on, Pompey, undefeated.
Come on, you motherfucking Pompey.
I love it. I was just, I tagged you in a post earlier this week, and it was my boy Ken from Charm City Gooners went over to see Arsenal. He actually sat 6th row and was maybe, I don't know, 40 feet from the bench, the Arsenal bench. So Arteta was walking right around in front of him in the technical area and everything. Well, he took a train down to Brighton yesterday morning, or this morning rather, because yesterday Arsenal played. He was at the game. So either last night or this morning, took a train down to Brighton, posting pictures at a Weatherspoons in Brighton, paid $1.88 pound, £1.88, excuse me, for a pint. And he said that it was, and I said, hey, I feel that as me and Sam, when we were there and went down to Portsmouth, I think we drank probably 5 or 6 pints for 20 quid.
Yeah.
In Portsmouth.
Yep.
The train ticket was about 20 quid to get there.
Yep.
And back.
Yep.
And then get back to the hotel late night, get something to eat, £35 each. Fuck you. And we had like 2 pints and some fish and chips, and that was it. It was like, get fucked, man.
Exactly.
The London prices are terrible.
Fucking insanity. And Wigan got a win and a draw, so they had a game in hand. It's interesting. You look at the League One standings, there's like some teams on 17, some teams on 15, some teams on 16. So
some teams are still in the League Cup.
Right.
Others, because there's so many games, would still play their regularly scheduled weekend.
Replay of FA Cup matches, all
Exactly.
that kind of stuff comes into play as
But
well.
a lot of those guys, those leagues don't stop. Mm-hmm. Like the
international break, they're going to keep playing. That's why next week
exactly
we'll have
right.
a EFL show, because they're going to keep playing.
Correct.
Now, there won't be a ton of games, because there will be some teams where they go, oh, this team has fucking
7 internationals or whatever,
or we can't,
and they'll postpone that game.
Right,
yeah.
we'll postpone that one game. But the other people, no. You got a team full of Englishmen that aren't fucking playing in anything international? Hell yeah, we're making you play. That's just the way it is. But for them, they now find themselves in 18th, and it seems like the point deduction's no longer a problem.
Yeah, they seem like they're probably going to be at least safe now.
Right.
They're rolling. They've, as you say, they've negated the entire points deduction. So we should see what happens from here. I don't think they're. I mean, there's still such a long way to go. You never know.
Right, of course.
But there could be, a push maybe for a playoff spot, but starting that far behind, I mean, we're what now, 12, 13 games in?
Yeah.
And you're just kind of officially starting your season, if you will. So,
well, they seemed to get themselves out of it, and then they lost a bunch of games, and now they're finally back to actually doing some winning. So,
right.
Yeah, they had that little bump in the middle. You would have thought they'd
but that
already
happened
be in
like
that
right when they got to like negative 2 points.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So it came at a bad time. But now they've won a couple on the trot, and they're out of the relegation zone. We'll see if they push on from here. But I mean, it's going to be a long old slog as it was, let alone with that points deduction to begin with.
And then of course Reading lost again. They now find themselves 10 points off of fucking safety, man.
That's not good.
That's talking about the other 3 teams that are in front of them just to get to that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Because 4 teams go down in League One.
From League One, yep.
The rest that we see right now are Cheltenham Town, Carlisle, and Fleetwood Town, which is very surprising because Fleetwood Town has been a team that's been in and around the playoffs typically for
the last
League
few
One,
seasons.
so.
Yeah, that's a shame. Cheltenham Town, they need to get on their horse.
Yeah.
Thanks.
See, I laugh at some of your jokes.
They try to find a way up the table. Carlisle, I mean, they're nothing to really write home about. They're not a great club by any means.
They're up and down. They're an up and down
Yeah,
between one and 2.
They're a yo-yo team, so you kind of expect them to be there. I don't know that they'll be able to find themselves out of it. But Fleetwood Town have been a League One mainstay for a fair few years now, and as you say, for the last couple, have been pushing towards playoff spots and typically lose to Sunderland.
Right. So you have to figure out, you got to see.
On the way to the Sunderland-Portsmouth final.
that or they lose to Oxford, who then inevitably loses in the final and does not get promoted.
Exactly.
Oxford, I think, has been in like the fucking the promotion final at Wembley like 3 of the last 5 years, and none of them have they gone up. They haven't gone up for a single one of them.
They got their maths wrong.
Because Oxford a lot of times has knocked out fucking Pompey. Is what happens.
Yeah, in that first round.
That's why I'm rooting for Pompey to just
win the fucking thing. Just get it over with and win the fucking thing.
Finally, with a League 2, Aki got worked by Crowley Town, unfortunately, but they're still sitting in the top half of the table, so they're still in 8th place.
Which is good. That's all we want them to make sure they stay in league football. Obviously, we want them to come up.
I'd like to see them back up in League One, but I'd also like to see them find a comfortable footing. And if that comfortable footing is a couple of seasons in League 2, while the Wrexhams of the world are trying to blow through and buy their way up, and nothing against it. That's what they're fucking doing. You get good investors. I would expect everybody who gets good investors to buy their way up the fucking table.
Go get your payday.
Right. Go fucking get it done. But for them, it's just they've got an owner who's very committed to that community and what they want to do there, and they work within their means. So like you said, you just want to see them stay in league football, find their footing, be in a good place.
Falling out of the football league, as Wrexham fans will tell you, it can be a bear to fucking get back.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they were, gone 13 years or something? Mm-hmm. 14 years, something like that. Ground was falling apart because they barely had enough money to pay players. That all of that kind of stuff. So
and you have to pay players like they're in League 1 or League 2.
And not every day, especially if you want to get up, not every day do you have a couple of Hollywood actors that have very good business acumen, one of which, like Ryan Reynolds, obviously, who is worth over $1 billion, to be able to come in and buy into and invest into your team. And at that level, you're not going to get a Saudi prince, you're not going to get a Qatari sheik, and you're not going to get, anybody else, really.
You're going to get a local businessman is what you're likely going to get. And that person still has to run a business and then
try to run the football club.
And then how that town goes is how his entire livelihood goes.
Correct. So, we just hope that they stay in league football, that they stay where, the money is, albeit a hell of a lot less than it would have been had they stayed up last season. Mm-hmm. But if they fall out of the football league, there'd be trouble. So I'm happy to see that they're sitting in 8th. And hope that continues, and maybe they can push on and try to get back to League One and get a bit more money next season.
Excellent. Knots have lost a couple in a row, man. They've fallen all the way to 6th place.
Yeah, I don't think I think they'll be fine. I don't think they're in a world of hurt. But of course, I mean, again, I'm going to say the old thing: these lower leagues is a long old season.
Mm-hmm.
What you need to do is make sure you don't lose 5-6 in a row.
Right.
ain't the end of the world if you lose 2, 3, maybe.
Right.
But you got to get a point. Then use that as a platform, get a win. You got to, you can have these little blips here or there. But if you're not where Burnley was last season, you can't lose 5 straight.
Right. And not for nothing, it wasn't Wrexham who had the leading goal scorer in the National League. It was fucking Notts County.
Right.
They had a guy who put in 45 fucking league goals.
Oh, yeah.
And
Erling Haaland eats your heart out.
You're only going to be able to hold on to a player like that for so long. And for Notts, I would imagine the thought process is the same as...
Sell them to Burnley in January.
Well, it's the same as Wrexham is get up to League One.
Oh, yeah.
Is hurry up and get up to League One.
While you can. Strike while the iron's hot.
Right.
Exactly. Because Sheffield United's going to come a knocking. They need a forward.
And then you can sell that guy to the championship for a pretty fucking penny. You
Right.
know? And
That's what I meant. Sheffield United and Burnley are going to need a striker in the
when they're in
championship
the
next season.
Absolutely. Mansfield Town, the Stags, win again and also are still undefeated and remain in 3rd place.
Yeah.
And then finally, Wrexham beat your bitter rivals, Gillingham, spelled Gillingham, call themselves the Gills, even though the town is pronounced Jill. I hate them now, too.
I know. It's a pain in the ass, Gillingham.
2-0, and they move into 2nd place, and they are only 5 points behind Stockport.
I like
now.
it. They just, again, you got to ride this momentum, strike while the iron's hot, get as many points on the board as you can as early as possible because the season is so long, you will have a blip or two.
Right.
Just like you started the season with a guy that had a punctured lung. Remember, after the Manchester United reserve goalkeeper fucking kicked him in the chest. So it's like these freak things. I mean, that obviously against a U18 Premier League side. But those freak things happen, especially down there where it's a lot more physical. There's no VAR, although that's probably safer at this point.
And true. And looking at their grounds, at the racing ground, it's like that's a championship ground.
Oh yeah,
that's a championship ground. It absolutely is a championship ground. So
that's the investment that Ryan Reynolds and McElhaney put in because it was dilapidated as fuck.
Oh yeah, I mean they had to rip down an entire stand.
They had to replace the entire pitch.
How far are you caught up on season 2?
Welcome to Wrexham?
Yeah.
Haven't even started it.
Okay.
No.
I'm down. I'm to the last game.
I gotcha.
So, of course, if you follow the team already, you already know what happens because it's last year is what it's about.
Well, right. Yeah. And that's why it hasn't been at the top of the priority list.
Heard.
Exactly, because I see we do this show now.
Oh, yeah, we kind of have a catch up on that.
I got it. Yep.
Very good. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up, Mr. Graham. Do you have any parting words?
Fire Wayne Rooney, hire black coaches.
Yeah, precisely. And also, of course, there's been a little bit of interaction with all of our people. Credit to Mr. Geckel for letting us know about Greenwood scoring the goal for for Middlesbrough and against Leicester.
Yep.
And of course, also the story about the sleeping fan was Brody. So everybody, if you're listening, give us some leads, man.
Yeah,
We'd
keep
love
it
to
going.
have some stories.
Please.
Man. It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up with everything, of course, especially when we still do the other show. So make sure that happens. Until next week, everybody.
Good
night.
Roar